Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, aka Post Up 323. Don't forget, guys, to give us a subscribe, follow us on socials, on the artist formerly known as Twitter, X at Shooters Lounge 3, and Instagram, the Shooters Lounge 3. The NBA is underway, guys. It's been a long summer, but now finally the season is underway. Just under 2 weeks has gone past, so plenty to talk about. We've had a big trade already. There's people, should they be pushing the panic button? So a lot to get through. My esteemed guest tonight is one of the OGs. I've done many shows with him before. He is the main guy on social media for all sport breaking news on socials. Give him a follow, man. It's my main man, AB at Clutch New Media. What's going on, AB? Good to have you, man.
How's it going, man? It's good to be here. Good to be here. My debut on the Shooters Lounge. As you mentioned, obviously done a lot of shows before, but yeah, it's good. It's good to be back and talking hoops again, man.
Absolutely. How do you like the new digs, mate? This is the Shooters Lounge. This is how we do it, bro. So it's VIP only here, bro. So
go work on my jumper.
Haven't we all, mate? Haven't we all, bro? Absolutely. Like I say, guys, we've got plenty to talk about tonight. Like I say, the season's underway. You've probably come in at the right week, AB, because the first topic as we've got is there was a big trade going on with your team, the Philadelphia 76ers. The James Harden era is over in Philly. He got what he wanted. He got out. He went to the team that he wanted, at the LA Clippers. Obviously, AB, for people who don't know, AB is Philadelphia 76ers enthusiast. I'll call you an enthusiast, bro. What do you think of the whole saga, bro? I haven't really got your take on the whole Harden saga. I'm sure you have some thoughts, bro. So do you want to lay down some thoughts for us, man?
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, man. But yeah.
How long we got, bro? How long have we got, man?
Oh man. So yeah, obviously the Sixers season ended in typical Sixers fashion, losing in Game 7 to the Boston Celtics in the second round. Another year in which we failed to make the conference finals at least. And yeah, obviously the off season, James Harden was well documented the tour that he went on, saying that Daryl Morey is a liar and he'll never want to play with him and whatnot. So yeah, that kind of led us to where we are right now, which is him getting traded. And I mean, after that, I mean, there was no doubt that I thought that he had played his last game for the 76ers. I mean, because yeah, when you think about it, obviously, we've seen this all before, though. Like, we've seen this all before with Ben Simmons. Every offseason, there's always drama from way back when the process just started, when we had our GM tweeting about our star player with burner phones. We had the Ben Simmons situation. We had, obviously, Jimmy Butler leaving in the offseason. Like, there's never just a low-key offseason where we make 2-3 signings and maybe a little trade here and there. There's always drama with the 76ers franchise. So, oh, man. But, yeah, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, with these comments about Daryl Morey and things like that, and with the way James Harden is when he wants to leave, if there's ever a star player in NBA history that can have his way, it's James Harden. So, yeah, we didn't need that energy and things like that. So, Daryl Morey did push the button to get the trade done, and we managed to bring in a couple wings from the Clippers in Rocco, who's come back home to Philly, where it all began for him career-wise. Obviously, Marcus Morris as well, who's from Philly as well, and Nicholas Batum. So, yeah, bringing in those veterans and a couple of picks and whatnot. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like Daryl Morey's hand was forced. I know there was some rumors about like ownership having to kind of bypass Daryl Morey into making that deal happen. Because I know if it was up to Daryl Morey, I mean, we've seen the way the Ben Simmons saga played. He waited until like February to trade him. And Daryl Morey is probably one of the more stubborn GMs in the league. So, yeah, I felt that if he had his way, James Harden will probably still be on the roster. Whether or not he'll be shooting up and things like that, I guess we wouldn't find out. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. I think the only shining light is Tyrese Maxey for the Sixers. Because if you've seen the way he started this season, I mean, he's
Yeah.
just been balling. His efficiency's gone up. He's looking more confident on the ball. He's distributing. The other game, he had 10 assists. So yeah, I think his rise is something that gives us Sixers fans hope that okay, maybe we didn't get a star back in return for James Harden, but if this guy continues to rise, then obviously we've got Joel Embiid, who is the reigning MVP. So if they continue to kind of like bounce off each other, then maybe we could have a roster that can, compete. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts on the James Harden situation.
Yeah, I've got Maxey for most improved this year, mate. I thought if he takes the leap kind of thing, then he's like, we don't need James Harden, mate. Just I'll take us home kind of thing. And like you say, the start he's made, bro, is definitely going that way, isn't it? With his playmaking ability and stuff like that for sure. So Embiid can't do it on his own, bro, can he? I think that's pretty safe to say, isn't it?
Absolutely, man. 100%.
Reigning MVP, but he's only one man. He's going to need help around him, and I think for you to go as far as probably you want to, I think Maxey's going to have to take quite a significant jump, but he doesn't look like he's shying away from it, man, which is always good, isn't it, bro? So that's a definite plus point at the moment, bro. What do you think of the new coach in the Philly? What do you think about Nick Nurse?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. Obviously, 4-1 to start the season, losing the first game, which is the Bucks, obviously, which is another fellow contender who obviously brought in Damian Lillard, who torched us that game. So, yeah, other than that, I think it's been a decent show. And obviously, our last one was against the Suns, albeit they didn't. Your Suns. The Book didn't play that game, though. Book was out that game, but obviously, KD was there. Still no Bradley Beal. But yeah, I thought it was a decent game. But the thing is with the Sixers, I mean, one thing, in fact, let me stick with the positives before I go on to the negatives. One thing I'd say is the ball movement. The ball movement has been a lot better. I mean, you're seeing guys making cuts. Kelly Oubre, who's someone that I want to big up because we got him on a veteran's minimum.
Definitely,
and he's
mate.
Averaging 20 a game. I don't know if it's going to last.
No.
I mean, every single last year, we don't know if it's going to last. And obviously, he's a player who has hot on cold streaks, but the production he's given right now, especially before the trade when he was coming off the bench, I mean, he dropped like 20 plus in his first game. He's someone who, it's crazy to say this, but in the Joel Embiid era, we haven't really had someone like that. We haven't really had any athletic wings like that who can like jump out of the gym and can shoot it as well. I mean, we had Matisse Thybulle for a brief period of time, but he was a zero on offense.
Yeah,
obviously, we had Rocco. Yeah, Rocco wasn't as athletic as Kelly Oubre is, and obviously Tobias Harris. We had Jimmy Butler, but in terms of someone like that, we haven't really had someone like that. So I don't know if it will continue, but he's made a really bright spark. So that's one of the positives. And as I was mentioning earlier, the ball movement, everybody eats. I think Embiid is locked in. I've seen some comments about him saying that he's always wanted to play with not always him being the focal point. I don't know how much I believe that, but I can see he's beginning to buy in. And yeah, obviously bringing the ball up the court as well, and defensively as well. I mean, he's up there in terms of blocks per game and things like that. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But the thing is with the Sixers, we see this all the time in the regular season. Me personally, I want to see what happens come playoffs, because every year we win 48 plus games. It's all good. We're a top 3 seed in the East, and then get to the first round. We get past the first round with a bit of ease, and then it's time to get into the second round, and we just can't make it. So it's all good in the regular season, but I want to see what we do in the playoffs. But so far, I got to give Nick Nurse his dues. Everything I've heard from him so far has been really positive. Everything I've heard from Embiid, obviously, especially with the Harden rumors, you're always going to think Embiid's going to be the next star to ask out because of the lack of playoff success and because of the struggles that he's had. And you're hearing the Knicks are rumoring to give these packages up for Embiid and things like that. But so far, from what I've heard, I haven't really heard he's locked in, and obviously Tyrese Maxey is as well. So we'll just have to wait and see how we get on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I think Nick Nurse is a coaching upgrade from Doc Rivers. I think it's pretty safe to
You
say,
think
isn't it, bro?
maybe a little?
Maybe a little. That ball doesn't move around a lot in the Doc Rivers offense, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So, like you say, a lot more ball movement. So, I think Embiid had 7 assists against us at the other night. So, he's maybe turning into a bit of a playmaker as well, like you say, which you're becoming a bit of a dual threat then, aren't you? As well. So you're plugging other players in as well, which is definitely a good thing, bro. Swing it back to Mr. Harden. How do you think he fits in with the LA Clippers roster then? They got a big 4 there now, bro. Well, the worry is there's only one ball, isn't there?
Boy, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, the way the game's going as well, it's like I just feel like Steve Ballmer, he just gets too excited sometimes because I don't see where Harden fits in this Clipper system because it's like
Yeah.
when I look at his time in Brooklyn, I think that was the most bought in he was in terms of like a system. But it was just a shame that obviously the Kyrie stuff with the Vac stuff and stuff like that, and obviously KD being hurt as well, it didn't really work out. But when you hear his comments as well, I mean, in his first press conference, he said, "I am the system," and it's like, when are you gonna learn? No, you're not the system. This is gonna end in tears. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't play in the system. I am the system. Is I mean,
what does that mean?
You're saying a lot, but you're not saying anything, isn't it? Kind of thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you on about, dude?
And we've seen the Russ Harden pairing. We've seen how that's ended up in Houston.
It's nothing new, is it, bro? You know what I mean?
It's like I don't know. And apparently their rumored starting lineup is obviously going to be Russ, Harden, Kawhi, PG, and Zubac. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, if you told me that was a starting lineup in 2018,
now we're talking
96-0, book it. But in 2023, it's like,
yeah.
I just
In this modern NBA, I think I was saying it a couple of weeks ago, where I think now you win the NBA now where you have two not like big stars, don't you? And then your supporting cast is good enough. A big 3 maybe doesn't work. Now they've just gone all in. Ballmer's just gone, well, watch this, and he's gone with a big 4. You know what I mean? It's like he's gone the other way. Where everybody's going with 2 guys and a better supporting cast, he's gone, no, we're not having a big 3, we're having a big 4 kind of thing. He's just he's in a hole and he's just doubled down basically, hasn't he? I think that's pretty that's what I think he's done anyway. It's a big name, obviously. He's from LA, isn't he, James Harden? So is it a homecoming or I don't really know. Kawhi likes the ball a lot. So does Russ. So does Harden. Somebody's sacrificing something somewhere, aren't they? I mean, stats wise as well as touches, possession. I think the first 6 months that Harden had at Philly last season, he was leading the league in assists. He was playmaking. I thought he was doing very well, and he was being the facilitator. But then when he didn't get into the All-Star game, apparently he changed, which I don't know if you think the same, maybe. Obviously, you'd watched a lot more Philly games than me. But apparently, Doc Rivers was talking on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he said once he got snubbed for the All-Star team, he changed. Harden changed, and he was like, well, I can't get into the All-Star game. Well, watch this. I'm just going to go back to how I was and kind of sod the rest of it. Do you agree with that? Did you think he changed after that, or?
I don't really see stylistically how he changed because at the end of the day, the Doc Rivers system in Philly was just a 2-man system. It was just Embiid and Harden. I mean, Harden, he complained. That's what makes his comments when he mentioned that he is the system or he wasn't allowed to express himself.
He was on a leash, apparently.
Yeah, he had the second highest usage in the NBA. Bro. The only person that highest was Luka. And it's like, how much more of the ball do you want, man? You're playing with the MVP. So I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, one thing I do know is that I don't think it's gonna work out. And the scariest thing as well for the Clippers is that they're moving to this obviously new arena that's supposed to be state of the art, one of the best ever. But you look at it, and all these players they brought in, Russ, Harden, Kawhi, and PT could all potentially be free agents next year. And it's like
it could go dark real fast, couldn't it? In Clippers,
real dark,
real fast. New arena. Nobody wants to go pacey. Anybody on the team, it could go real like rough very fast, couldn't it? It could go very south. Absolutely, bro.
It's just gonna be Terrence Mann out there.
Which apparently he could not be touched in trade negotiations. Now, I mean, I've seen Terrence Mann. I mean, he's okay, but I don't know. Are you thinking he's going to turn into something? Maybe. You know, they watch him more than I do, but from what I've seen, I don't think he'd be a hands-off kind of guy, player. But I always keep kind of going back to the fact that who were the Clippers competing with to sign Harden? There was nobody else, I don't think, who was kind of circling to get Harden. So you know what was the rush? Or I think from Philly's point of view, I think like you say, maybe Morey was kind of leaned on. Do we know the reason that why the falling out happened, AB? I mean, your guy's plugged in more than anybody, mate, with everything Philly. So was it kind of like, do you think Harden was promised something from Morey and he went back on his word, or how do you think it went down?
I really don't know. My assumption will probably be that he was potentially offered or under the table agreement that he'll get like some sort of contract coming into this off season. And then I felt like his play in Game 7, especially in the playoffs, kind of made Daryl Morey have to backtrack, which is the whole Daryl Morey is a liar thing. And especially what didn't help was that I feel like one of the worst things is crazy, but one of the worst things that could have happened to the Sixers of the franchise was that James Harden 40 ball in Game 1 against the Celtics. Because that gave him, with Joel Embiid out, that gave him the validation that, playoffs, I'm still that guy. I'm still the system. So, that probably made him feel like, I'm definitely going to get a max and stuff like that. But we learned to understand quickly that is not sustainable going through the rest of the series as well. So, I'm guessing that's what my understanding would be. And one of the key things as well for Daryl Morey and I guess the Sixers going forward is their flexibility going forward. So with this move that we've made, we are projected to have around 60 million in cap next season because Tobias Harris is on the last year of his contract, and the guys we brought in from the Harden trade in Marcus Morris, Rocco, and Batum, they're all expiring deals. So, Daryl Morey did not extend Tyrese Maxey this offseason. So
no, he didn't.
Rumors to have around 60 million So rumors to have around like 60 million in cap space next season, which I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of acquiring free agents or trades. But I'd say the falling out would be between Harden and Morey was under the table deal that, okay, you take this pay cut going into the season. Let's go all in, try win a championship, and then you'll get your little something next year.
Well, he opted in, didn't he, before last season? Yeah. But like you say, if he's been given a wink handshake where we'll look after you after the season, and then Morey's gone back, then, well, I suppose he probably is a liar, isn't he? But obviously we don't know what's gone on, but it would kind of make sense in terms of what Harden said. So I suppose it's just another team that James Harden's quit on and forced his way out, isn't it? There's a kind of list of teams now that it's happened to. Brooklyn, Houston, and now Philly have joined that list. Will the Clippers join that list in another year? I mean, you wouldn't write anything off with Harden, would you? Like, it might be this season. I don't know. You know what I mean? It would just like, I don't know, marry stripper or something. Who knows? Anything can happen, couldn't it, bro? You know what I mean? Well, it was definitely a surprise when it happened. So, but I think Harden is making his debut tonight. I think against the Knicks. So I'm sure you'll tune in, AB, and see how he gets on. Like, but.
No, for sure. I'm intrigued. I'll definitely tune in for that. Definitely. Probably catch, I like to see how that looks.
Yeah. I'm not holding out much hope for the Clippers. Ty Lue's got his hands full, man. That's for sure. Anyway, moving on. The next segment we've got is what we call the NBA panic button. This was teams that you feel that should be pressing the panic button. Obviously, we're only 6 or 7 games into the season, so it's all very early. Some teams look better than they actually are, or some good teams are kind of struggling to get by, or not looking too good at the moment. So, AB, have you got a team that you're thinking, should we be pressing the the panic button this early into the season?
Yeah, the first team that really springs to mind is the Chicago Bulls. I mean, they've been trying to retool or whatever they call it for a number of years now, and it's just they just need to accept the fact that it's over. Just blow it up. Like Lonzo Ball's been out for obviously a couple of years now. We don't know what his career is gonna look like once he gets back. They done the Vucevic trade, and you ask any Bulls fan, and that's something that they'll say is definitely a bad trade because they gave up 2 first-round picks for that. One of them becoming Franz Wagner, and you look at what Wagner's doing down in Orlando now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's someone that they could definitely do with. I mean, what did that get them? They lost to the Bucks in the playoffs a couple years ago, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. So it's like, he gave up. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, DeRozan, he's getting up there in age as well. That's someone that probably want to move on from. And they made signings like Alex Caruso, who's kind of like a winning player. That's someone who a lot of contenders will be sniffing around for because he makes all the right plays, and he's one of those players that you put him on a contender and that could kind of put you over the edge. But
Absolutely.
I think the Chicago Bulls, I look at that team and I just feel like, what are they? They're 2-5 now this season. They're already on a 3-game losing streak, and it's like I don't see any reason why they should hang on to the pieces that they have at the moment. I just feel like they should be replenishing their draft capital. I mean, they've drafted like 7th overall the past couple of years. They brought in guys like Kobe White, who I think he's a 6th man at best. They got him starting at point guard. He's not really a starting point guard in this league, I don't think. Obviously, they drafted Lauri Markkanen as well, who's gone to do some great things in Utah.
But he didn't look that good in that team, did he? And now he's gone somewhere else, and he's looking. He made the All-Star team last year, So it's that, like you say, that Vucevic contract is was a real anchor, wasn't it? That trade was definitely like you say, the ones the fans will probably look at and go, man, we messed up pretty bad there. I mean, they've got LaVine, haven't they? LaVine's probably the guy they could get. He's the guy they could probably get the most return for. But I looked at this beginning, like in the summer, and I think the Bulls could blow it up, mate. Mid-season, they might just go, we're getting rid of everybody. I think DeRozan's a free agent in the summer, I think, as well. So we'll have to see how that goes, whether he signs with somebody else or they re-sign him or something. But yeah, like you say, I think it's not looking too happy in the Windy City, I don't think, at the moment, mate.
Let me just shout out LaVine. First 50-point game of the season went to Zach LaVine. It was in a loss.
I was going to say, that says it all, bro, doesn't it, I think? Says it all, doesn't it? It's like, it was lost.
0 assists too, but still, first 50 ball of the season. But it's time to blow it up, man. What about you, man? Who's your panic button team?
Well, I mean, there's a few you could kind of go, but there wasn't. I thought about Miami, but Miami just do this. They did it all last year, didn't they? They were just like, Miami, man, what's going on? What's going on? And then they just sneak in the back door to the playoffs and then make the finals. So I'm not even like questioning that. I'm just like, that's just what Miami do, innit? I'd be worried if I was Memphis, bro. Memphis obviously won the first game last night, so they 1-5. Morant's out for another 19 games. Adams is out for the season. The big man, Brandon Clark, I think, is also out for the season. They lost Tyus Jones. I think so, yeah. Or he's out indefinitely. Sorry, maybe not the season, but he's out for a bit. all them games that Morant missed last season, obviously they had Tyus Jones to come in, and he did a very good job. He's not there anymore, replacing him with Marcus Smart, which my feelings on Marcus Smart as a point guard is very well known. He's not as good as Tyus Jones, I don't think, as a point guard. Obviously, he brings other things, defense and stuff, but there's plenty of times where Marcus Smart's like, don't worry, guys, I've got this on offense. And everybody's like, no, Marcus, you haven't. But it's not looking too good for Memphis. Can they kind of tread water until Morant? And we don't know what Jaw's going to be like when he comes back. I mean, is he in a lab somewhere, just keeping ready to go? Is he going to be ready to go as soon as the suspension's lifted? If he is, then obviously, bringing in somebody like that, exciting player like Morant, they could go on a run. But it's not looking too good at the moment for Memphis. But they say if you start 0-5, the percentage of you making the playoffs is like less than 1%. So it doesn't sound too good. But like you say, it's still early days. But yeah, if I was a Grizzlies fan, I'd be quite concerned, I think. I'm not too worried about my Suns at the moment. I'm not pressing no panic buttons because, one, we haven't had everybody playing at the same time yet. Beal hasn't played yet. Booker's only played a couple of games. But I don't like the load we're putting on KD too much at the moment. I don't really want a guy who's been in the league that long, putting in 35, 40 minutes a game this early. That's really not what we wanted. We wanted these young bucks to kind of take the lead, but Booker's had a couple of issues. Now he's got a calf issue. Beal, he's got a back issue. He hasn't played at all yet. So I'm not pressing the panic button yet on the Suns, bro. But I'm the fingers teetering over the. We get another couple of weeks of this, mate. I might be like, oh, what's happening, kind of thing. But like you say, I think the teams these days they kind of regard the regular season as just to kind of warm up, and I think they feel like they can kind of coast through the regular season to some extent, and then ramp it up for the playoffs. Whether you can do that, who knows? I mean, Miami made it to the finals, but they didn't win, did they? I think Denver won it because I think they played most of the season together, didn't they? Apart from Murray, who joined about halfway through. So they were kind of with each other the whole season. I don't know if you can just chuck people together like with about a month left in the season and expect it to all just fall into place. I don't think it kind of works like that, does it, bro? I don't know about you, but I don't think it does. So it's tough from there. I don't know, maybe possible panic button, mate. I'd be a bit worried if I was a Bucks fan. I'll be honest, I've watched Bucks a couple of times, man, and defensively, it's pretty rough right now, man. They're trying. I don't know who's guarding the opposition's best guard on the Bucks team, because obviously they lost Drew Holiday, didn't they, in the offseason, in the trade, and then Boston picked him up from Portland, didn't they? So I'd be a bit worried, man. I mean, they're restricting Middleton as well. His minutes, I think he's only playing 15 minutes a game at the moment. So they're kind of really slowly bringing him back up. It's a kind of old team now, man. You look at the team and, it's Brook Lopez, it's Jay Crowder, it's Lillard. Lillard's getting on. He's not a spring chicken, but he's not over the hill yet for sure. But you look at the team overall, it looks pretty old, Replacing Drew Holiday with Campaign is not it, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's not. That's not. I ain't gonna get it done, bro. I mean, Campaign is play for us, and we had some fun, but it ain't no Drew Holiday, bro. All right, now, pretty safe to say, isn't it? But I wouldn't definitely press the panic button yet. But if I was the Bucks, I'd be like, it's a new coach as well, rookie coach. We saw what Boston did with the rookie coach last year, and I think he looked a bit of a deer in the headlights kind of thing. But not pressing the panic button yet. But I'd be. It's something that I've noticed a couple of times when I've watched the Bucks. I'm like, man, who's guarding the opposition's best guard, a point guard or shooting guard? It just seems there's nobody on there who can kind of do it, and Malik Beasley, or it's just not going to be a thing, bro. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, when Lillard and Giannis get used to playing with each other more, it should be a deadly 2-man game. I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? But they haven't ran it too much pick and roll between them two yet. So if it comes to a point where it's a bit like I'll have a go and you have a go, I don't think that's going to get it done, is it, with Giannis and Lillard? I think they've got to find a way to kind of incorporate them into the offense at the same time, rather than it's kind of like, oh, you have a go and then I'll have a go next, and that isn't going to cut it, bro, is it? That's not going to get you to the finals, I don't think, mate. So I think something to I've noted it down, I've penciled it in for to review in a couple of weeks, bro, I think, with the Bucks. So but I don't think there's anybody else you've got, bro. Anybody else you were thinking is the
panic button.
It's okay if you haven't. It's fine.
I'm just thinking of teams around the league so far. I'd say it's probably too early for anyone else, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, Julius Randle on the Knicks has had the greatest start to the season, but I think everything with the Knicks is always hyperinflated because it's the Knicks. But
of course it is.
I don't really. Mainly, I think like the Grizzlies definitely, as you mentioned, and I'll stick with the Bulls as well for sure.
Yeah, that's fair, mate. That's fair. Yeah, like I say, Randall's struggling a bit. I don't know if he had off-season surgery or something, but I think they were saying but it's a bit rough to start. But I think he'll come round to it. I think he'll shoot better, obviously, because I think he'll have to out of necessity kind of thing. But it's been a rough shooting stats, hasn't it, to start the season, bro, for sure. So but something definitely to watch out for. The Knicks, I can't remember what they are, 2 and 3, I think, the Knicks. So
2 and 4, I believe.
2 and 4, sorry, now, mate. Yeah. So yeah, but it seems like to me, mate, I don't know about you, but I think it seems like it's Boston and Denver and then everybody else kind of thing to start the season. They look pretty solid, man. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, the Nuggets was, you mentioned earlier about, obviously we spoke about the Clippers acquiring Harden to make this big four, and then how the league is just like a big 2 role players. I mean, I don't know why people don't take the Nuggets sort of like blueprint. I mean, you got your star player and everyone around him just fits. I mean, you look at Aaron Gordon, you look at MPJ, you look at all these guys that have coming in, like even Christian Brown's come in, like they're trying to integrate Peyton Watson now. It's like this. I think this is the blueprint going forward. This whole big three with all these egos, and I've got all these all NBA selections from like the mid 2000s. So I should be able to get all the possessions. Like, I don't think that's the way it's going. So the Nuggets. Yeah, I feel like the Nuggets are the team to beat, man. Nuggets are the team to beat for sure.
I think people thought that Denver weren't going to be as good because they were like, oh, they're losing Brown. He was an integral piece, and I'm like, they've just brought Reggie Jackson off the bench, who was literally sitting all last year, and they've just moved him in. And it's like, it's just like how it was last year, mate. We've just got this guy in who's probably maybe just as good as Brown, haven't they? And who didn't play last year at all. And now he's getting like 20, 25 minutes a night. And it just seems that nothing had changed. Even the first game, Jokic, he was in like mid-season form already. And you're just like, this isn't fair, man. Like, people spend hours and hours every summer working on the game, and Jokic literally probably just come back like 2 weeks ago. It's just like, yep, I'm in mid-season form already, and he's off, he's passing, he's shooting threes, and you're just like, this shouldn't be this easy, mate. But it makes it look so easy. I think that's but yeah, Denver just look like they could run it back, bro. Last show we did like the season preview, and I think I can see Denver repeating it. I can, mate, because at the moment I just thought they're just going to run it back. They're just going to be the same team again. One, they've got Murray for the whole season this time, and they didn't last year. So they've played together for so long now. The kind of main kind of 5 or 6 players that it's just another day at the office kind of thing. So, but Celtics look pretty good as well, don't they? Offensively, especially.
Oh yeah, yep.
Pouring it in, mate.
Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, Halliburton wasn't playing, was he? But I don't think it had mattered for the for the Pacers kind of thing, But yeah, just Boston just pouring it on, isn't it? I mean, health with Porzingis is obviously going to be a massive thing for them, isn't it? But at the moment, it all seems to be clicking offensively. And with Drew Holiday, Drew Holiday's an upgrade on Marcus Smart. I'll argue with anybody over that, man, for sure. So you've upgraded. Maybe your bench isn't as deep as what it was, but I think that kind of finishing 5 that you're going to have, man, is that's going to be tough to beat, man. It's going to be tough to beat for sure. But again, it could all change next week, bro, couldn't it? You want injury away, aren't you? I mean, any teams want injury away, aren't they? Obviously, I hate injuries for any teams, really. It just ruins it, but it's part of the season, isn't it, bro, that it happens. So it could happen to anybody. But so like I say, we'll talk again in a couple of weeks, and the NBA panic button might be offering over somebody else, that kind of thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? I might bring this back every a couple of months or so and see where we're at with the panic button, mate. But
for sure.
Sound. So next thing we'll dive into. I don't know about you, bro, but I'm a massive kind of jersey guy. Obviously, I've got the new Suns jersey rocking at the moment.
Okay.
So, man. So. My name's Matt, and I have a jersey problem. So, can't help myself, bro. I've got way too many jerseys, bro. It's ridiculous. You can only wear one at once. But I think I've seen you in a couple of jerseys, man, over the years. I think you've got a few knocking about, bro. Is there anything that kind of like any of the new jerseys that takes your fancy? Anything you noticed?
I just know, obviously, being a Sixers fan, looking at Sixers jersey, I didn't really like it.
Okay.
Well, as a Sixers community, we've been begging for the black Sixers Iverson jerseys, to drop for ever since these City jerseys kind of came into existence. They're right there, The 20-year anniversary was 2 years ago, so 2021, where we went to the finals and that iconic run and stuff. Thinking, okay, this is the perfect time to drop them, and then they go and drop a different jersey, and it's okay, now the gig is up, because now it's he just had one job. So obviously it says that City of Brotherly Love on it.
Yeah, it's time, isn't it, bro? It's time. It's time to re-release that, isn't it? It's time. It's definitely time to re-release that Sixers one, man.
I feel like they kind of missed the boat on that, man. Especially with all the playoff failures last couple of years. It's you want to release the jersey when you feel like the team actually has a chance to do something special. But
maybe they're waiting for 25, bro. Waiting for 25 years. I don't know.
Probably. But
you're not a fan of the new City Edition jersey then? That I've just put a graphic up there with for the viewers on YouTube. Just have a look at the some of the jerseys there. That you don't like the City of Brotherly Love jersey then, bro?
I don't not a huge fan of it. One thing I would say though, I was watching obviously we'll probably come to talk about this shortly, but I was watching the in-season tournament and then the Pacers one. I thought it was kind of nice, kind of like the Pacers one.
Something a bit different, wasn't it? Something a bit outside the box, but not too over the top, maybe. But something a bit different. But I don't know. Favorites for me, obviously. Well, I like the Suns one because I'm wearing it right now. So that was I like the Kings one, man. Back to the ode back to the Royals.
Rochester Royals.
Yeah, quite like that one, bro. I was a fan of that one. I saw Milwaukee playing in that blue one on Friday for the in-season tournament. That looked quite good with the court and everything together. I thought that was pretty sweet. The OKC, the black one, that was pretty sweet. But there's a couple that you like. What the hell were you thinking? Kind of thing. The Nets one, especially. I mean, I don't know. The Nets one. It's just like
too much going on.
Yeah, it's the top row, third one from the left. It's so I don't know if the teams have a lot of input into this, or is it just Nike who come up with these designs? But some of them are just like, man, you haven't earned your money there, dude. It's like,
it's not great.
Yeah, pretty poor kind of thing. But what do you think? Do you think they have too many jerseys now, dude? Some teams have got 5 this year. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot of jerseys.
Yeah, way too much, man.
Yeah,
way too much, and it's like, I mean, some of these jerseys they only wear them like a couple times a season as well, like 7-8 times for these City Edition jerseys, and I feel like it's if you're releasing City jerseys every single year, it's like I feel like the novelty kind of like wears off it. So, not really a fan.
Yeah, we thought football was bad. The NBA taking it to a new level, aren't they, bro? You know what I mean?
Completely new level, man.
I mean, we had a turquoise one last year, and that was only for the last season. I think we probably wore it like 4 or 5 times, and now it's gone. And now they've moved on to this new one now. So, like you say, it's only to pay that much money because they're quite expensive now as well, bro. They've gotten up in price, obviously. Well, like everything in it, but. It's so it's a lot of money forking out, and then you only see them wearing it like a handful of times. It's not not a great look really, but yeah, some of them I just kind of had a bit of a chuckle at, kind of going, what were they thinking, kind of thing. And some of them they've played it a bit safe, like Boston kind of always play it kind of safe, don't they, with their designs? Maybe sometimes it's, take the plunge, kind of like India have done. Like you say, they've kind of done a bold choice there. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, what the hell were you thinking? And other times you're like, oh, you've had a swing at it kind of thing. And but yeah, I quite liked the India one as well, bro. Just something a bit different kind of thing. But obviously, speaking of the jerseys, this whole City Edition jersey was in line with the brand new in-season tournament. Obviously, the first night was Friday. There was a few games on, some quite decent games as well, to be honest. I was watching it on Friday night, and there was some good games, some new court designs as well. AB, first of all, let me just get your opinion on what do you think of the in-season tournament as a concept. I asked the guys who was on the show, the first show, Philosopher was not a fan, and neither was GM John. I was more kind of like, well, they're trying something. It might not work, but at least they're trying new things. It might be a one and done thing. But what are your overall feelings on the NC? When you first heard about the in-season tournament, bro, what did you think about the idea? Were you not a fan, or did you think, well, we'll give it a go, or whatever?
I was intrigued by it. Obviously, a lot of as you mentioned, it doesn't surprise me that Philosopher didn't like it. The basketball purists,
he likes things to be just how they were, and which I completely understand. I'm usually like that, bro, to be honest. So I can't really say much, but yeah.
But yeah, I was intrigued by it, and then obviously seeing opening night of it on Friday. One thing I'd say though, a lot of the games were really competitive. I mean, we was watching the Warriors Thunder game, and obviously that came down to the final possession with obviously Steph Curry winning the game for the Warriors there.
Really good game that was, bro. Really good game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that, sure. Man. And OKC didn't have Shea either that night. They didn't have SGA, did they, man? And they were right there with the Warriors, man. It was a really good game that was. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So yes, it's interesting to see what the legacy of the in-season tournament would be in, like, I don't know, 20 years or something like that. How it weighs when obviously in the NBA there's a lot of like player debates. This person has this many rings, and whether they'll try to sneak it. Okay, he's got 3 championships, but he won a mid-season tournament too. So I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see. And it's like, obviously, I think it's like, what's the cash prize? Like $1 million or something like that. And I remember
500,000, I think.
Oh, it's 500. Okay, yeah.
500. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, and it's like it's interesting to see what players will kind of really want to compete at a high level for it, and what teams will kind of like prioritize it. But yeah, I don't think the real contenders, such as like your Nuggets and like the Celtics, as we discussed, are really coming into this thinking, yeah, we got to win this. I feel like a team that will win this is like maybe a up and coming team. So my prediction to win like the in-season was actually the Thunder, because I just thought that this up and coming team, obviously last season they were really good, and coming into this season, it's like I feel like that's a team that I feel like will take on that challenge to kind of will pride themselves on winning that, especially with Shea and the ascension that he's made over the last couple of years. But I'm intrigued about it. I still want to see the rest of the group games and things like that, and see how that goes going forward. And I'm very intrigued as to what its legacy will be like down the line for teams.
Do you think they win a ring if they win this? Because obviously it's the NBA Cup, isn't it? do you think they get a ring if they win this? Because I don't know, it might be the closest that Chris Paul ever gets. So I don't know. You know what I mean? If people go, I've got a ring, bro. I've got a ring, and they're like, mate, it's this NBA Cup, bro. It doesn't mean nothing. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I had OKC winning as well, bro. I made some of the pre-season predictions as well. Like I went on lines like you did, mate, where it was like, up and coming team, maybe young and hungry might. I tell you what, though, man, I'd keep an eye on the Lakers, man, because LeBron's playing a lot of minutes, mate, for this early in the season. I wonder if he's eyeing it, to be the first one, to win the first one. Just keep an eye on LA, bro. Keep an eye on LeBron. Just see whether he another feather in the cap kind of thing. First winner and stuff like that. I might be completely off, but I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to LeBron about something. So. But what did you think of the court designs, bro? What were your thoughts on those? I think it was very divided as I'd looked on social media. Some people really loved them. Some people absolutely hated them. Where did you fall with them, dude?
I still don't know. I mean, some of them is just a bit too much. It looks like something that's been designed on like 2K or something.
Yeah.
But I get it. Because obviously the NBA wanted to be like, okay, if you're watching a game and you see the flamboyant design, for you to instantly know that, okay, this is an in-season tournament game. But I can't remember who said, I think it might have been someone on ESPN, but it's like, the thing with trying to instill a tradition is that you can't really instill it. It's something that has to grow with time. And I feel like they're trying to rush it where it's like, okay, this has to be epic from like the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously with the City Edition jerseys and these custom courts and things like that for the tournament. So some of them I like. Obviously, we're yet to see all of them because only how many teams? Only 12 teams have played so far, I think.
Yeah. Well, the Suns one goes with this jersey, so I'm looking forward to seeing that, bro. That looks pretty sick. I didn't think I'd like him, bro, but when I saw him, I was like, this actually doesn't look too bad. I was like, I thought the Bulls one really it was. I think what the NBA were trying to do is they wanted to make a point that this was different, and it was different to the regular season. That's what they're trying to do, aren't they? They're basically trying to get more viewers for the first 2 months of the season, aren't they? I think that pretty much, because I think the casual NBA fans are wake me up when it's playoff time kind of thing, aren't they? Wake me up when the playoffs are. Obviously, not everybody's like us who are insane, who watch every game anyway and stuff like that. We're probably the minority, but I think that's what the NBA were trying to push to do, is to make it look that it was different. It definitely looks different. I think they've succeeded in that, bro, haven't they? It looks very different. I don't know if it's disorientating for players and things, because there's some striking colours, isn't there, in some of those courts, bro. For the viewers, I've just put a graphic up with some of the courts on there. But I mean, some of them, man, some of these courts. I mean, look at some of these, bro. I mean, the New York Knicks one is going to be. There's a lot of orange going on there, bro, and it's like It's some of them are really striking. Like you say, some of them kind of stay a bit more traditional, not going too far away. But some of them are, completely different. But majority of them, man, I thought they were all right. And with the jerseys going with them as well, it was kind of like I didn't think it was the worst idea. It might be just a one and done thing, and they find that the viewership isn't any different, and they kind of bin it. But what I like about Silver is he's always open to new ideas, and he's always willing to try new stuff instead of over the years where we're just like, no, we're not doing anything. At least he's open to ideas and they try stuff.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then okay, well, we'll bin it and we'll do something else. Like, they're going back to East versus West for the All-Star game, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? He's tried something. We've done it away for like 5-6 years, haven't they, where they've picked teams, captains and stuff. Yeah. But now we're going back again because I think he kind of listens to the fans, I think. And, at least he's trying to do something new to kind of improve the game. I mean, they'll never shorten the season, which I think is probably the major issue that I think with players especially. He'll nenever do that because one, it's TV money. It'd be less money for the league from the TV networks and stuff like that. So it's a non-starter as much as it would be, even to shorten it like 5 or 6 games or something like that. But it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. But at least that they're trying. He's trying new stuff. The semi-finals and the final are going to be in Vegas, so that's a bit of a novelty. Are they getting ready for Vegas to have the new NBA team? It's a kind of warm up for them as well, innit? Because I think that's the worst kept secret in the league, innit? That Vegas are going to have a new team. I think, you know what I mean. Well, everybody knows, don't they? I think. So that's a warm up for them. It's going to be an event over like I think it's 3 or 4 days over the weekend where the semi-finals and the final is. Like you say, but the players have got it lies with the players, and the players have got to buy into it, haven't they? Another $500,000 for apparently the coaches get a share as well, and that's money. If money's the motivator, then money talks, bro. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, won't we? But first impressions, bro, I quite enjoyed it on Friday. I thought it was felt something a bit special. They're trying to capture the magic of like college March Madness, aren't they? But like you say, it's something that's built over time and over years and years of things. Like you say, bro, it's a good point. You can't just capture that from something else, bottle it, and then release it into your league and expect it to have the same. They might say, well, we'll try it for 2-3 years and then see where we lie with it. Or like you say, it might be a terrible idea, and they go, no, we're not doing that again. And the basketball purists will be happy that it's gone, mate. But but now I enjoyed it, mate. So that's my 2 pence anyway. Any other things you want to touch on, mate, before we depart? Anything you've noticed? How many Wembanyama games have you watched?
I was just gonna come on to that. I was gonna say we've had our basketball NBA podcast. We've been speaking for 54 minutes, and we haven't even mentioned Wembanyama. Nah,
I was waiting, bro. End of the flourish.
I think you'd say that set those 2 games against your Suns. I mean, that guy is the truth. I was so nervous for him when they were talking about him like he was the next LeBron James, all this stuff. But he's taken everything in his stride. I mean, he's one of the league leaders in terms of like clutch baskets. Obviously, 5 minutes left in the game, and scores like five or less. So in the clutch, you can give him the ball and he'll deliver, as we're seeing so far. And then I think his I've arrived game was definitely that second game against the Suns where he dropped 38 and 10.
He just took, in the last 4 minutes. He just took over the game, and for a rookie to do that this early is pretty scary, mate. For sure. But it's how disruptive it is on both ends as well. It's not just one end; it's both ends, man. He's just such a disruptor. And watching him and KD like kind of spar it out a bit was just like this is completely bizarre. Like 2 7-footers kind of just dueling it out. And there's a couple of stills of Wemby trying to block a KD fadeaway, and it's just like that you don't see this. This isn't something you see every night in the NBA. Like some guy who's like 7'4" and who can take step back threes and just like it's very impressive. My Chet Holmgren for Rookie of the Year isn't looking too good right now, man.
Although he has been balling as well, though. He's been decent, but
it's Wemby something special, isn't he? I mean, you get in the dog days of January and February as a rookie. It's all you kind of get a little slump, don't you? But first impressions, it's like, my goodness, that something like this doesn't come around very often. Like, well, no player, I don't think, like it. I mean, some people were trying to say that Bol, and I'm like, I got Bol on my teammate. He ain't no like Bol in it. No, that Bol into this guy, mate. Like it's offensively and defensively, bro. He's just so disruptive. Offensively, you could just chuck the ball up to him, and defensively, he could lead the league in blocks, man. I think that's a thing that he could do for sure. What do you think? Any of the other rookies? Have you watched any of the other? Scoot Henderson for Portland?
I haven't seen much of Scoot, if I'm honest. One person that I will be looking to watch more, Ausar Thompson. I think he's been really, really good for the Pistons. He stuffed the stat sheet. I mean, last game out against your Suns, he had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks as well.
Yeah, he had some decent blocks, man, against us last night. It looks promising for sure. Wemby's obviously just going to take all the attention from rookies for sure. But there's a couple of decent players out there. I think Miller for Charlotte, I think as well looks Brandon Miller looks quite. Looks quite a decent player as well. Unfortunately, he plays for the Hornets, but
exactly.
What can you do? how far you going to get, kind of thing. But like you say, Chet's looking decent as well. But like you look at Wemby and Chet, and you just think, man, they're so slim, aren't they? Players, they're so slim. You just think, my God, it'll only take kind of one little twist of the ankle, and it's oh man, because it happens.
That's what happened to Chet. It happened to Chet. That's how he missed last season. Remember?
That's how. Literally. But he did that
preseason.
He did that in pickup.
LeBron was driving to the basket. Yeah, LeBron was driving to the basket, and that's how he got. That's how he got hit, because obviously the contract, and then he was out for the season.
Yeah. So you kind of as fans of those teams, you just crossing your fingers, aren't you, and praying that hopefully. But I mean, Wemby, first couple of weeks of the season, you're like, my goodness, it's if he's like this now, like you say, once he figures it out even more and gets more intelligent, being coached by Pop as well, it's just unfair, isn't it? Really?
I mean, I saw a tweet the other day that said, it really put into perspective. It said something like, "This is the worst that Wembanyama might ever be."
Yeah, literally.
It's like, you know what?
Damn.
That's crazy to think about. I just see that man drop 38 in front of KD, and it's like, damn, if this is his worst, it's crazy.
Drop 38 in KD's face. It's like, this is the worst he's going to be. Oh my goodness. Oh man, yeah. But like you say, it definitely, and he's an attraction kind of thing, isn't it? It's like, oh man, Wemby's playing my team tonight, or
exactly.
It kind of draws up excitement as well, doesn't it? Because people are just like, you just look at his frame and how long his arms are, and you're just like, this guy is not the same species as me, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this man is, he's an alien, I think. I don't know. Or it's it's impressive to watch. As annoyed as I was that we got whooped by him twice in 2 days, you kind of watch Wemby and you just go, wow, yeah, it's definitely a sight to see, man. You'll have to look out for when he plays your 76ers, bro. It's definitely
100%.
it's a sight to see, man, for sure. Anything else, mate, before we shoot off, or are you looking? How's your week ahead for the Sixers looking? Are you?
Yeah, got the Wizards tonight. I'll have that on one screen.
That's a mulligan then, isn't it?
You'd think so, but I don't know, man. But yeah, no, it should be a good game. Game. I'm expecting another win for the Sixers. Looking forward to watch Maxey, man.
Yeah.
Watch Maxey, and then whatever games. I'll have one eye on. Obviously, you mentioned earlier Clippers Knicks. See what that's looking like.
Yeah, man.
And then late game. Obviously, Pels Nuggets. Haven't seen a lot of the Pelicans. Haven't seen a lot of Zion yet so far this season. It's like,
I'm all in on the Zion rejuvenation project. I am, mate.
Okay.
I'm all in, mate. I'm all in.
Okay.
Nice windmill dunk the other night. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. He could be out next week, but
you got to enjoy while he's around.
Yeah, enjoy it while he's here. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Cheers for dropping in, AB. Much appreciated, bro.
No worries,
do you want to tell the viewers where they can find you on socials for all breaking news, all sports? It's the man to follow. It's quicker than Sky Sports. Give yourself a shout out, bro.
Yeah, obviously I'm on social media, Clutch New Media on Instagram, and also on what's it called now? Twitter, whatever it's called.
I said the artist formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah. On there, so probably tweet out some thoughts on the Slater games tonight, and give me a follow.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, appreciate you coming down, dude. Hopefully we'll have you on again very, very soon.
Sure.
We'll be back, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be popping this podcast up on Spotify later this evening, so you can listen to it on your commute into work in the morning or any other time you want to. So thanks for dropping in, guys. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, so we will see you then. Thanks very much.